Welcome all to Poetically Preaching episode 1, where I will be giving you the breaks. And these are the breaks. I do appreciate everyone for coming and bringing your presence in your ears. I will not be speaking low frequencies into them. One of Lauryn Hill's unplugged CDs, not albums, she only had one album, so the song. One of the songs, she was talking about how she had to basically reintroduce herself to her family. She had to, when reintroducing herself, she had to come clean about a lot of stuff so that she can leave that past behind her and to move forward to be somebody new. Not essentially somebody new, but just taking on an identity that is more comfortable for her. And in that, I continue to say that, some may know me as Machiavelli and others may know me as Taylor, others may know me as Tay. Whatever y'all call me, it would be hard for some of you, but I would like to retire all of those names. And I am in search for something more that identifies me, something that is me, and that is Tay Jahnee. I had a very tough time as a kid embracing my middle name. I guess it was a means of mysteriousness for me. I wanted to remain mysterious. And then one day I was just like, dang, it's a lot of people that don't have middle names. And that kind of sucks because I feel like the middle name puts the razzle-dazzle on the name. A first and the last name sucks. With the middle name in there, it's like, wow. I feel like it's personality in the middle name. Your last name is obviously, attached to your family and all that other extra stuff. But your middle name is your personality. The first name is your first name. But Tay Jahnee was what I went to, and that's what I'm sticking to, just because I feel like it more accurately describes me, my identity, and who I am. I think I give Tay Jahnee. I like to shout out to ARS Atlanta radio station, Pee Weezy, Tupac Monroe, Coolin' It with Kira, Laura Tate, Jackpot. I really appreciate you guys for everything that y'all have done for me with allowing me to find my identity in this world of podcasts and radio and everything else and how to maneuver and the do's and the don'ts. Greatly appreciate y'all. If a lot of you guys tuned into my Tay Jahnee's Rhythm Nation when I was at Atlanta radio station, and y'all can also check them out on TuneIn Radio. They cycle indie artists. Check them out now. Check them out. But y'all already know what I did on Tay Jahnee's Rhythm Nation. We changing some stuff, but we keeping some stuff the same because it's a part of my identity. I love to read. Everybody knows that I read a lot of political books, political and non-political, but more political. And so I'm currently reading Angela Davis's autobiography. And in that, she is basically talking about her life and everything that she went through, starting from the beginning of how she even got warped into, communism and, civil rights movement and the Black Panther Party. She also breaks down the difference between the Black Panther Party. And that's why I read a lot of books, because a lot of stuff that's on the internet is not going to be in the books. Because a lot of the stuff on the internet is falsification, it's not even real anymore. And so in the quote that I'm going to give you, she was basically in that moment talking about how she was at the New York Women's Detention Center and how she had to figure out, after her rights were being violated so many times, such as being in solitary confinement, 24 hours a day almost, to being in not even having a mattress, literally sleeping on a slab. And then not only that, they put her in solitary confinement for 24 hours, claiming that she was the prisoners were a danger to her. Basically that if she gets out and she's out there with them, something could happen to her. And granted, we all know that 9 times out of 10, probably what wasn't going to happen. If anything, she was going to be, inspiration to those ladies in there. And that's exactly what happened. She was putting them onto different books, expanding their horizons in regards to, communism. And it wasn't like she just did it because she wanted to. She did it because they wanted to know. She did it because they had a desire to gain more knowledge in this subject. And the quote is, whenever my rights were violated, it was up to us to show why they shouldn't be violated. And for me, that quote resonated with me because violated is somebody disrespecting you, somebody going against your boundaries, going against your standard, going against what you're telling them, just not caring about what you want done and what your boundaries are. And the rights being your standard, what you allow and what you're not allowing, like I said, your boundaries, whether they be personal, traditional, political, not whatever they are. Those are your boundaries. Those are your rights. So it's up to you to show why somebody shouldn't violate your rights. We got a lot of things going on where all of our rights are being violated as a human race. So it's important that we stand up and we show them why our rights should not be violated, why we should continue to stand 10 toes down for what we believe in our boundaries, in our rights. Because I believe that we are the physical representation of why we should not allow anybody to violate our rights. You know, like our ancestors, we are our ancestors' wildest dreams. So why shall we continue to allow these people to continuously violate our rights when they didn't let them do that? You know, and if you allow somebody to keep violating your rights, they're going to keep doing it until you show them why you should not do it. You know, it's like those situationships and, you know, you got so-and-so and so-and-so and you keep telling them, hey, you know, I don't really fool with this. And they keep violating you. And essentially it's up to you to be like, all right, I'm not doing this anymore. What we're going to do is we're going to do this or we're not doing anything at all, point blank, period. And that's you showing them why your rights should not be violated. And I really do hope that you guys carry on that quote throughout the week and throughout your life, because with everything going on in the government and in the system, our rights are being taken right from under our feet. Every month it feels like, every other week, goddamn, if I'm being quite honest. So don't allow people to violate your rights. Don't allow it. I'm big on, you know, understanding people and trying to match their energy or trying to make them feel understood. But to an extent, I can only do so much before I'm violating my rights. And it's like, if I don't want anybody to violate my rights, why shall I violate my rights? I'm giving them the okay to violate my rights. You see what I'm saying? So it's just important that we definitely stick to that and that we keep that in mind throughout life. And we about to get into the breaks. I want to get y'all the breaks, okay? Because everybody know, if y'all tune into Tay Jahanee's Rhythm Nation, it was cool. It was my first trial of, you know, being even on a radio station. Like, it was luxurious. But I wanted to branch out on my own, and I wanted to create an identity of myself. Like, I want this to be Tay Jahnee and nobody but Tay Jahnee, you know? Y'all already know, like, I'm into taking my platform and making it a bigger platform for everybody else. So with that, Poetically Preaching will bring to you artists in another element, interviewing independent artists that are trying to be more than just an artist. You know what I'm saying? And you can take that any way you want to, but be more than just an artist. You already know I'm not, it won't be light topics. You know, we will talk about your music. We will have those conversations, but there are so many things that are going on in the world that I be wanting to know where your head is at when, you know, all of this is transpiring. Because it's hard being an artist or a creator of any form of fashion when the world is in turmoil. We also have author's moments. And what an author's moment is, authors are soldiers to me. If you can write a book over 250 pages, you're a top tier human. Because to sit down and to focus and to not do anything else but this, to hold on to this storyline, to try to still, like, make this book captivating from start to finish, to it's a lot of things. And then especially for it to be fictional, then that's even harder. Well, yes and no. I guess it depends on if you're more, you know, a fictional writer, if you're more a non-fictional writer. But I personally would need to be on, like, an extreme vacation or, you know, retirement before I sit down and write a book, because I don't have the attention span for that. So shouts out to all the authors out there. I definitely want to give you your platform to get out here and let's talk about it. Like, I like to read. So I'm big on reading authors and different authors that have different styles of writing and different, like, genres of books. And I also have Poetically Speaking. A lot of you guys might remember that from Tay Jahanee's Rhythm Nation. That derived from my aunt back home. She used to run these events, and she would call them Poetically Speaking, and she would have, like, the best poets in the town come out at the venue, and they would just spit their best pieces. Her only rule was that it was no cursing, and you had to be able to deliver it, you know, poetically without any profanity. And granted, I agree with her because she's an extreme poet. Like, y'all gonna hear her pieces and y'all gonna know it's her. But shouts out to my auntie. And so she handed me the torch and allowed me to put the platform on, give everybody else the platform, and be able to speak your piece and be able to, you know, say what you want to say. I don't want to say, you know, you can't curse or nothing like that, but make it to a minimum. You know, there's other ways to get what you have to say out without using profanity. I'm working on that myself. But when it comes to poetry, when I'm writing spoken word, I don't essentially run to curse words. I'm like looking at other words of other forms. But I know that that's some people's outlets and ways to get their words across. But I think the main thing I want for this platform to be is also challenging for you. And I'm a shy poet. You know, I write all day. I got a bunch of poems that I done wrote from all kinds of trials and tribulations. But speaking it and putting it into a flow, it's a challenge for me. So I guess essentially I'm challenging myself too, but I need a muse. So I need y'all to, you know, give me something. And I can take all the submissions and everything. You guys can follow me on Instagram at Tay Jahnee. That's TayJahnee. And getting into the whole idea of poetically preaching, aside from what I will be bringing, it's heavy topics, but you know, I've always been complimented on my voice, and I've always gotten, you have a radio station voice, or can you sing? And one thing that I realized was I never really like paid attention to it really, because there were so many other factors that were going into like my voice than how I was thinking about it. I don't have like a high-pitched voice, so it was like, essentially, it was kind of challenging because it's like, I do sound like a girl, but I have a raspy voice. And when I get up in the morning, I don't sound like a girl. I don't sound like one. Especially if I'm sick. I barely even have a voice. But, so I kind of eventually had to embrace it. It was like kind of a forceful embrace, because I didn't understand the power that my voice had until P. Weezy at Atlanta radio station gave me that opportunity and gave me that platform to speak. And I didn't realize how many people were actually listening to what I was saying, who were actually infatuated with the things that I was saying. It was interesting. And so it put me at a point where, okay, I know I have a powerful voice. And then it was like, when I'm in other situations where, you know, it's more negative, it was like hard to remember that I have a powerful voice. Like, and that's a conversation for another time. But yeah, so poetically preaching is essentially me bringing heavy topics to you in a passionate way, but, you know, very poetically. And I wanted to talk about the experiences and everything that I've been through. That's what these topics are going to be. Every episode is going to be something new in regards to something that I've been through, because I know that there is somebody that I can tell. Somebody's going to pick up on this, somebody's going to hear this, and they're going to be right where I'm at. If not, they're going to have where I've been before, or might be creeping up on where I'm at right now. And in some form of fashion, we can all help each other, because we're going into this time period in society where everybody wants to, you know, be by themselves and be for themselves and do for themselves. And granted, I understand that, because that's all you really have at the end of the day. But you can't forget about, you know, it takes a village. Because it takes a village to raise a child, and it takes a village to raise a teenager or an adult, a young adult, all of that. It takes a village regardless. It doesn't take just one person to do that. And with that, I wanted to create a village to be able to help all of us, to be able to give us a platform, to be able to express ourselves freely, to be able to be who we want to be, because why not? Excuse me, I don't understand why not. But I lost a lot of things physically over the past 2 years that put me in a very dark place. And it also made me aspire to I didn't like being in that dark place. I'm not a dark person at all. Like, not one bit can I function in a dark headspace. Like, that is not functional for me. That does not look good at all. It looks fucking terrible. Absolutely looks terrible. So I had to let go of physical things mentally, and it made me strive for things non-physically. And what my challenge is, trying to remember that to an extent these physical things are important in this society or in this system, but remembering at the end of the day, it also matters it matters for my non-physical too, because all of these physical things I can't take with me when I die. So at this point, I don't really care about it, because none of these things are going to hold me afloat when I'm gone, when I ascend. So essentially, that's that. And I wanted to talk about it. I got a lot of things that I've been through, y'all, in the past 2 years that I feel like we could talk about it. And not only that, another thing that made me kind of set aside all of these negative thoughts and all of these reasons of why I shouldn't was because I was listening to podcasts and it was never giving. No, I won't say never, but a lot of them weren't giving. They weren't giving what they needed to give. A lot of it was opinionated and not, factual. And essentially, your opinions are valid, your feelings are valid, but to some extent, there has to be some facts in there. There has to be some structure in the podcast. And it's a couple of podcasts that I've listened to that don't have any structure. And it's very frustrating and it's very hard to follow. So I think it was Toni Morrison that said, if there's a book you want to read, then write it, So if there's a podcast I want to hear, I'm going to do it. So I'm doing it. And I did it. So there's that. I do want to appreciate you guys again for listening to me. And I want you guys to prepare for this season, because Poetically Preaching is about to be a whole nother level. Like, I got different authors. I have business owners too. We're working on that. I have artists. I have poets. I have everything that you need. So why would you go anywhere else? I don't see why. But I did write this poem, and I am a little nervous because it was very much so like a just in the spur of the moment, like very, very, very spur of the moment. I'm gonna try. Hold on. I'm gonna try. I'm a little nervous because I'm not by myself, so that's also very nerve-wracking. Woo! All right, it's called These Are the Breaks, obviously. Like the beat of a Congo, I let my feet guide me to the beat, allow my ears to accompany my spirit. Spirit tells me, dance, girl, you better tell your story and possess your passion. I wake up from my message and give you the breaks that don't fail, the shit to live in hell, but we gonna make it through with more peace being seen in the light that we've gotta follow. And that's all. See, I told y'all I'm a shy poet. I told y'all I am. But one day, when I ain't shy no more, we all gonna watch that evolution. We all gonna watch me evolve. We all gonna watch it. But I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys on the next episode of Poetically Preaching.